don't think those next few months weren't great, Captain Salvador. They were the last days of Pompeii with Christmas and a Polish wedding thrown in. I picked up my checks regularly from Victor Sheridan, and I spent them regularly on Ruby Miller. I never could understand why the two men you always had shadowing me didn't pick up Victor Sheridan. But why look a gift horse in the mouth? I was busy enough being the belle of the boulevard, the girl most likely to succeed. Clothes? All over the place. Money? Any place there weren't clothes. Nightclubs? I was a bigger attraction than the chorus girls. Men? Like flies in a sugar bowl. And don't think I ever got tired of it. Why, I even got tapped by the 400. Of course, I was sort of a late starter, but so were Broker's Tip and the Yankees. Let's see. There was Douglas Elwood Tisdale, who had the mink ranches. Clayton Dashiell, who made governors. Hamilton Moore, who was in shipping and polo. And Talbot G. Cooper, whose taste ran to women.
Ruby, I've known girls from Bombay to Hunter.
Well, don't tell me about them. I hear Kinsey's in town.
No, what I was going to say was that you're the most exciting of them all.
Oh, cool. Squash head. I don't come from Bombay or Hunter, so I don't have to follow the rules. Go get yourself some new material.
No, I mean it. If I were conning you, I'd do it in another place, not here.
Oh, cut it off. I came here for laughs. Say, who are those two people over by the window?
Don't you know? Really?
Look stupid. Didn't you ever read anything but Noel Coward? If I knew who they were, I wouldn't have asked.
Well, come on. I'll introduce you. The distinguished-looking man lives on an inheritance, and the distinguished-looking woman lives on, memories, I guess.
Hello, Coop. Nice to see you.
Hello, Clint. Marie. May I present Miss Ruby Miller, Mr. Clinton Fisher.
My pleasure.
How do you do, Mr. Fisher?
And Mrs. David Madlock.
Talk about your drama. That moment could have run 36 straight weeks at the Barrymore Theater. As you know, Captain, it was my first performance at trying to carry on idle chit-chat with the widow of a man found dead in my apartment. Must have been her first, too, because she excused herself and walked quickly away. The guy who staged the scene, Cooper the Coward, also took a powder.
By natural selection, I guess we're left alone, Miss Miller.
What's she complaining about? I wasn't found dead in his apartment.
Well, you couldn't exactly expect her to carry on tea-time conversation with you.
Look, is she a friend of yours?
I know her.
Well, tell her the next husband she gets, keep him home. That means keeping him happy, if she isn't too chilled to find time. Now, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Fisher, I'll go have a drink.
Allow me to join you, Miss Miller.
Why?
Frankly, I like you.
If anybody tells you men over 50 don't have charm, put salt in her coffee. Clint Fisher was as charming as they made them. And the thought came to me that this was my chance to move from the phony money to the real stuff. And he was said to have more connections than the plumbing at the Waldorf. I intended someday to use them. And my chance came sooner than I thought.
Yes, ma'am.
Captain Doric Salvador wants to see me.
You mean Lieutenant Salvador? He got a bust.
Good. He was too arrogant.
Third door on the left, lady.
Don't look so mad, Sergeant. Maybe if you work hard, you'll be busted, too, someday. Hello, Lieutenant.
Yeah. Sit down.
What did you do, kick the mayor's mother?
No, the commissioner got a little mad because I didn't bring anybody in for David Madlock.
What did you call me down here for, a wait?
The commissioner's dropping the case.
What do you mean?
He called us off. Madlock will be under M in the file. I'll be on another case.
Yeah, but that means that
Starting tomorrow, where you go alone.
What is this? You pulling off my protection?
Ruby, we had those men on you to see if anybody made a move towards you, not for protection.
I got a right to protect
you. You forfeited every right you had when you threw in with the wrong people. In my opinion, Ruby, you sold your soul for a fur muff and a filet mignon.
Don't talk to me like that, you lousy failure.
Shut up. I played your game long enough. This is the end. You don't even know what I'm talking about. You'll never know. All dames like you got is your sex. You wouldn't know a good piece of music if you heard it. You've never read anything longer than a menu in your life. You couldn't tell me two intelligent things about the history of the people you came from or the name of the man who wrote the Declaration of Independence. All you got is a 75-word vocabulary and 112 pounds of flesh that could have been put to better use in an animal.
You listen to me, flathead. Where do you get off telling me how worthless I am? Just because I went out and made myself a few bucks the hard way? Well, I took nerve and I've got it. It didn't take any to sit behind that desk and get demoted from captain to lieutenant. You picked your way of life yourself, and because everybody isn't like you can't stomach them. Your kind doesn't send your sons to college so they'll know a good piece of music when they hear it. You send them to learn how to make money. And you don't dress your daughters in the best clothes you can buy because they know who wrote the Constitution. You do it so they'll marry into money. You're cheaper on your level than I am on mine because you lie about what you really want, and I don't. I'm honest. I say what I want right out, and I get it.
Are you through?
No. Why did the commissioner call off the case?
It was costing too much.
I can smell a fix 20 miles off. You're going to set me up for a kill.
I'm not setting you up for anything. They called me off the case. That's all I know.
Yeah? Well, if the commissioner's been fixed, he can be unfixed. I know some pretty big people now.
I hope they can help you,
They will. Don't worry. I'll have my protection back. And while I'm at it, I think I'll have you busted down to sergeant. And I couldn't wait to do it to you. Clint Fisher was my boy. By then I had him wrapped around my little finger. He knew the skeleton in everybody's closet, and I was going to make him raffle a few. I pulled out all the stops, and he had my hero printed all over him when he said he'd see what he could do. You cops who thought you had a corner on everything fracture me. I slipped on a negligee and cracked a bottle of champagne. And while I waited for my team to go into action... Hello?
Clint Fisher, Ruby.
Oh, Clint, darling. Oh, it's so nice to hear your voice.
And it's nice to hear yours, Ruby. Are you all right?
Oh, yes, of course. Don't worry about me.
Well, Ruby...
Everything's going to be fixed, Clint?
Not exactly. That's why I called you. I've tried everybody in town, and I hate to say this, but there's nothing I can do for you. Absolutely nothing.
Clint, you don't mean that.
I'm afraid, honey, you're on your own.
Don't tell me about men. I know more ways they can be cheap and lying, two-faced and vicious than you can count in a year. Clint Fisher wasn't the only man in the world who could fix things. So I tried the rest of them, up and down the social register and through the moneymen and tycoons, and every one of them chickened out, every one of them. No, Ruby. Sorry, Ruby. Try someone else, Ruby. That's all I got. Don't tell me about men. Then I began to get scared. Scared right down through the little veins. I locked the door and pulled the shades and told the desk to let no one visit me. And I sat there all night. I didn't dare sleep. And half the next day, I was scared. But then I remembered. I still had an ace to play. Sheridan.
Yes, Ruby.
Well, what's the matter with you?
Nothing.
I came to make a deal. A deal, do you hear me?
Too late.
I won't spill. I'll never say a word, not a single word to anyone. I'll even get out of town. What are you laughing about?
You. Trying to make a deal.
I got the greatest deal in the world, the greatest. You never heard anything like this. Listen. I don't even know who the client is. I don't know. I never knew, never. All I know is some creep I never saw before gave me a couple of $1,000 to use the apartment for a killing. I don't even know his name. He came and he was gone. That's all I know. Believe me. Sheridan!
Shot me in the stomach.
Who?
The client. He killed Madlock because he wanted Mrs. Madlock. She found out last night. Committed suicide. He went crazy. Thought I told her. But after shooting, I said it was you. And you don't even know him.
Who is the client, Sheridan? He'll kill me. I've got to tell the police. Tell me, who is he? Oh, don't die.